Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to dispel some myths that media is spreading. They can't stop themselves. All they know is simply to just hide behind semantics and make false claims seem credible. President Trump was never told, I repeat, never told of the existence of any FBI investigation into his campaign. So I'm going to try to get to this in a manner that in the next 10 minutes, I'll just explain everything to you. Number one, President Trump was never told, ever told, no matter what they say, well, we warned President Trump not to hire General Flynn. He was never told. He was never warned. He was never told. Nobody ever communicated to him the fact that that General Flynn was being set up and framed, or if you want to say investigated for any potential ties to Russia, by Andrew McCabe or James Comey or Peter Strzok or anyone. He was never told this. When President Trump, first of all, Michael Flynn did nothing wrong ever. He was never charged with any crime, anything to do with Trump, Russia, or collusion or anything like that. And to my super chat, thank you so very much. You give me every incentive to rock these live streams. But when they say, well, he was warned by President Obama, simply saying, well, I don't really like Michael Flynn. President Obama hired General Michael Flynn as his Defense Intelligence Agency chief. President Obama did not inform President Trump that Michael Flynn was under FBI investigation that was fabricated, by the way. His calls were already tapped. There was nothing there. Washington Post. FBI reviewed Flynn's calls but found no wrongdoing. FBI reviewed Flynn's calls with ambassador but found nothing illicit. So when Sally Yates says, I think he might have been compromised by the Russians. Maybe it was President Obama's administration who was compromised by the Russians, because William D. Campbell says, since we're talking about what the Steele dossier says, which is a document purchased by Hillary Clinton, or what CrowdStrike says, third-party tech firm. This is an actual FBI informant that said when he was undercover, he heard Russian lobbyists brag about their influence over the Clinton Foundation and President Obama's administration with respect to the Uranium One deal. Only Democrats would say that allowing the sale of 20% of U.S. uranium capacity to Russia isn't being compromised. So number one, he was never told. And number two, Michael Flynn never committed any crimes. He was never charged with any crimes. He was not a consultant or a foreign agent while working for the Trump administration. Not one day, not 1 second. The judge presiding over the Flynn case, which is a fabricated case, should be thrown out. President Trump should pardon Michael Flynn tomorrow. The judge said, oh, he got the dates wrong. So when he said, you sold your country out, that was like, everyone ran with that. And the judge then said, oh, I'm sorry. Actually, he ceased working as an agent of another country before joining the Trump cabinet. He was never working with anyone else but President Trump and for this country. He was never charged, nor was he ever accused of a specific crime pertaining to Russia. He was only charged for allegedly lying to Peter Strzok. But you have this ridiculous, like the Washington Post, there you go, it's the same thing. Then you have judge orders public release of what Michael Flynn said in a call to Russian ambassador. Who cares? There was nothing illicit. Go ahead. This is what Trump tweeted. It now seems that General Flynn was under investigation long before it was common knowledge. It would have been impossible for me to know this. But if that was the case, and with me being the one of two people who would become president, why was I not told that I could make a change? Nobody stated that he was under FBI investigation. So then you have the petulant media saying, oh my God, that's not true. He was told many times. Really? He was never told. He was never told by President Obama or anyone else. Trump claims no one told him not to hire Michael Flynn. The Yahtzee! The Yahtzee, thank you. He was never told that Michael Flynn was under investigation, which is what he's tweeted. NBC News reported that Obama told Trump not to fire Flynn. That is not stating that Flynn is under FBI investigation. That is not warning or informing or communicating or telling Trump that Flynn is under investigation. That is, you're hiding behind semantics. Former White House press secretary Sean Spicer later admitted that Trump knew Obama wasn't exactly a fan of Flynn. So what? That is not explaining that the FBI is investigating Trump or Flynn. This is the issue. They're trying to pretend that President Obama voicing discontent over Flynn's hiring, or Sally Yates voicing discontent over Flynn's hiring, is the same or equal to revealing the FBI investigation of Flynn. That is not the same. And first of all, Flynn was set up. Flynn was set up. And they're doing it again. This is one of the 5,675 million lies that Trump tells. It's not even a lie. Flynn should never have been under FBI criminal investigation. He never committed a crime. The only crime was a process crime that they set Flynn and framed Flynn up because he was an outspoken critic, and he condemned Clinton on CNN with Jake Tapper, and he had the courage. He had the courage that Bernie Sanders should have had. And I cited Michael Flynn when I was on MSNBC the second time. I was on MSNBC. I should have put them up on my channel, but for some reason I put them up on my Facebook, and then it was up on my website. But then when I deleted my Facebook account, it was on the Facebook account. But if you can find my MSNBC segments, well, at least the second one, where I explain, Michael Flynn stated it was a threat to national security. It was damaging to national security that Clinton used servers outside of the United States government. Outside of the United States government. And there you go. You have an issue here with overt lying. Media lies all the time. And all they do is spread the same thing. Well, Trump, that's not true. Trump was actually, he was told. That's not what Trump tweeted. Trump tweeted, how come you didn't inform me of an FBI investigation? Hmm. Trump informed me of Trump never was informed, was never ever informed. Was never ever informed of an FBI investigation ever. And he was 100% right. The Yahtzee! Flynn knows where trust the well. The Yahtzee, thank you. The Yahtzee, thank you. At this point right now, the Yahtzee, I agree to a great extent, but see, everybody knows what's going on. There just needs to be some decision made, and I do believe that John Durham and William Barr eventually, whether it's after Clinton runs and loses or before sometime, not sure. We do not have an interventionist foreign policy, thank God. And I'm talking about a military interventionist foreign policy. Thank God President Trump is president. Thank God we didn't have Clinton, who's running again. All those people to the left of Bernie Sanders will have their chance to vote for Hillary yet again and prove themselves to be the biggest hypocrites in the universe. Justin Way! Thank you, Justin. So, number one, President Trump was never told ever by anyone, by Sally Yates, by Spicer, by Chris Christie, by President Obama, that Michael Flynn was under an FBI probe. That would have prevented President Trump from picking anyone who was under an FBI probe. But guess what? His whole administration or his whole campaign was under surveillance of some sort. But if President Obama or Sally Yates or Chris Christie or Sean Spicer or anyone else was told that, hey, please inform President Trump that Michael Flynn is being set up and framed. Brooke! Shabbat shalom, brother. Shabbat shalom, Brooke. Thank you. Thank you. Parabiology 101, hello. They never told President Trump ever that Flynn was under an FBI probe. That is the issue. That is the issue. So then you read these articles. All the times Trump was warned about Michael Flynn. No, that's not what Trump said. Trump said he was never told that Flynn was under a fake, ridiculous FBI probe. That's the story. I love this. They quote Raw story. It's hilarious. President Obama telling Trump not to hire Flynn is one example. And no, that is different from President Obama saying your incoming national security advisor is being set up and framed by McCabe. Or if you want to, your incoming national security advisor is being investigated by McCabe, the FBI. Comey was FBI director at the time. What Trump got wrong about the FBI investigation into Michael Flynn? No, what Trump got wrong? Give me a break. It would have been impossible for me to know this. Okay, now they try to rip that up. Mr. Trump was warned after the election. No, he was not. That keeping Michael Flynn, who could be troublesome, that is not what. So what's the New York Times says? Well, he was warned that keeping Michael Flynn could be troublesome. That was not what he said. It's like they live in their own world. Valerie Rogers. Well, that's true. God has a plan for everybody. sometimes you just got to make sure not to trust it if it's going the wrong way. Actually, I just respectfully, a respectful rebuttal would be, sure, there's a plan, but I think that it's incumbent upon everyone to try to make the best out of life and to definitely not believe, whether it's the mainstream or whether it's message boards, don't believe not like people that are obviously hiding behind semantics. But thank you. It would have been impossible for me to know this. That's true. Nobody told Trump that the FBI was investigating Flynn. That is the heart of the matter. He was first warned about Flynn. No, don't use the word warned, because being warned that Flynn might not be a good choice is different from being told specifically about an FBI probe. If they told Trump about an FBI probe, he would have pushed back and said, why the heck am I being investigated? And they couldn't have that, so they didn't tell Trump. Then they say Mr. President Obama, and then he was under federal investigation for paid lobbying work he did secretly for Turkey while he was working on the president. He was not working on the presidential campaign. Here, we have this right here. Florida man! HJ, love your impression. I've enjoyed watching your journey for 3 years. Florida man, thank you so very much for watching for this long, and thank you. We have a great year and a half ready for us. Florida man, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that greatly. Thank you. Thank you for watching for so long. Florida man, everyone here, if you look at the judge saw country out, apologize. Okay, so judge apologizes for suggesting Flynn is a traitor. Okay, so he apologized already. And this is, I believe, also in this is a I'm trying to find the actual hill. Okay, hold on 1 second. Now, this is interesting. Sullivan, this is the best. So even the Hill does this. So the Hill starts off with the headline: Judge to Flynn, arguably you sold your country out. Then in the middle of this towards the end of that actual article, goes, Sullivan later said he misspoke when suggesting Flynn acted as a foreign agent in the White House, noting Flynn's lobbying work ended before he started working for the Trump administration. I felt terrible about that, Sullivan said after the brief recess. Sullivan said he would take into account Flynn's public service and military career and his cooperation in the investigation when sentencing him. But he underscored the gravity of the offense, nevertheless. Of the offense of what? Lying to Peter Strzok, who was fired from the FBI, who said, we will stop Trump? Judge Sullivan is a great, great man. Actually, he has called out Hillary Clinton many times. But Flynn was set up and framed. Crankin, thank you. He was set up and framed. So, I mean, it's like, I felt terrible about that. Sullivan said he misspoke. And then the New York Times, the reporting is unbelievable. How inaccurate can you be? Told him weeks before the election, he was under federal investigation for paid lobbying work he did secretly for Russia while working on the presidential campaign. So what? Secretly for Turkey. So what? He was never working for anyone while he had every right to do consulting for any country. They went after him because he spoke out. They went after Michael Flynn because he spoke out. Because he's one of the only people in the intelligence community that actually had the guts and the courage. Rhonda, Iowa girl. He should not have pled guilty. That's a tough one. I mean, you're right. In hindsight, he should never have. But we didn't know. I mean, from his perspective, I think he pled guilty before Strzok was fired. I think. Once Strzok was let go, yeah, for sure. You're right. But he probably could have changed his. He probably should have changed his plea. You're right. Rhonda, Iowa girl, thank you. I mean, at that point, when you have the United States government after you, and even if you know they're setting you up and framing you, if you don't have the money to continue to fight the battle, it's very difficult. Bruce Tomaszewski, thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, Florida man. Bruce Tomaszewski, please incorporate either signs or charades during videos to convey words that may run afoul. YouTube algorithm. You know, I tried to in my last segment. I said people who look like Bernie Sanders with the same pigmentation of color of skin. Because if you say like too many times the same phrase, you know, the YouTube algorithm is like, thank you, Bruce. But here, let's look at Chris Christie. Here, they're like, well, Chris Christie. The issue is not The issue is not saying that, oh, well, Michael Flynn wasn't a good choice. The issue is that, see, that's what they do. They hide behind semantics. They're like, well, he was told he wasn't a good choice. So what? The issue is, why didn't they tell Trump specifically that his incoming national security advisor was being set up and framed, or if you believe in Trump Russia, under FBI investigation? They didn't, because they wanted to make Trump look bad, and they set up and framed Michael Flynn. They set up and framed Michael Flynn. That's it. Give this segment to anyone who thinks Flynn did anything wrong, because he didn't. And then they're so petulant too. Like, he was wrong. He was lying. He's not telling the truth. He's not telling the truth. Just because Hillary Clinton you could actually compile a list that would be twice, 3 times as long as Trump if you use the same standard of calling something a lie with Trump. Trump doesn't really if there's some puffery there, or if he exaggerates, fine. But he doesn't say like, oh, I used the servers for convenience. I deleted yoga emails. Everything I did was above board. I survived Bosnian sniper fire. Those are the issues with Clinton. Exactly, William Tallman. They were too busy trying to use leverage over President Trump. Hello, Luke St. Martin. Eric H526. ACUR. Hello, everyone. To my moderators, thank you. And it's just all the times that Trump was warned by Flynn. No, wrong. He was never told there was an FBI probe. That is the issue. That's what he tweeted, and he was 100% right. Why was I not told? Oh my God, that petulant. Not told what? Although the FBI kept Mr. Trump in the dark. Yes, there were many other warning signs about Trump. About Flynn. That's the point. The New York Times says, "Why was I?" They quote Trump. Why was I not told? Then they're petulant, snarky. Not told what? Exactly. And then they go, well, although the FBI kept Mr. Trump in the dark, exactly. Not told that. You think Trump cares what Sally Yates thinks? You think Trump cares what President Obama thinks? What anyone thinks of his decisions to hire somebody? He would care if he knew of the FBI probe. On November 10th, 2016, Mr. Obama cautioned Mr. Trump against who cares? You think he cares what Obama thinks about anything? On June 4th, 2017, Mr. Flynn told him again that he was being investigated by the FBI. Well, okay. But he should have, the FBI should have informed President Trump. On January 26th, the acting attorney general told Mr. McGahn that there were discrepancies between what Mr. Flynn had discussed with the Russian ambassador during the transition and what he told the vice president. Who cares? Who cares about discrepancies with what he told the vice president? He could have told the vice president that he was having a romantic relationship with the Loch Ness Monster. Who cares? February 13th, Mr. Flynn was forced out. What's Trump supposed to do? Let Flynn go the second that Flynn says, hey, why is the FBI investigating me? They had no clue what was going on. Nobody did. It was a setup and they framed him. Why? Because Flynn is an honorable man. The guy is an honorable guy. He had the guts, he had the courage to just state the obvious. If there's any active duty or veterans or people who have been in the intelligence community, I mean, is it okay? Is it all right to transfer special access program intelligence? She found a way. Hillary Clinton found a way to transfer top secret and special access program intelligence outside of the United States government and places within the U.S. government like JWICS onto servers located in her basement. Non-vitae Rex. Thank you. Thank you, non-vitae Rex. Why was I not told? Not told what? I mean, could you imagine you have not one Trump voter in the New York Times writing? Not one person who's published is a public Trump voter in the New York Times. And if I missed one, fine. But 99% of the New York Times, it might as well be the extension of the Democratic National Committee. It is so discredited in my viewpoint. But to the left, it's like, you know. Obama warned Trump against firing Flynn. What does that have to do with anything? What on earth does that have to do with what we're talking about? Michael Hackett, yes, thank you so very much. Yeah. Black Conservative Patriot is awesome. He is absolutely awesome. I love his work. And he should be at 1 million subs. Obama warning Trump. Obama should have told Trump, hey, there's an FBI probe of Flynn. Oh, and guess what? There's an FBI probe of a whole bunch of people, from Papadopoulos to Manafort to Carter Page. Want to know why? Oh, here's why. Because of a Steele dossier that Hillary Clinton purchased. That would have been fantastic. That would have been just great. So, ladies and gentlemen, they are yet again hiding behind semantics. And yes, she's running. Yes, Clinton is running again. Hillary's running again. And just pray and hope that she would just... Okay, warning, Christie, warning about Flynn. Among reasons I was fired. Okay, so that's hilarious. Chris Christie is such a low. Suffice to say, I had serious misgivings. Your misgivings is not. Oh, by the way, there's an FBI probe, which have been confirmed by the fact he pled guilty to a felony in federal court. No, Chris Christie. The Krispy Kreme might have gotten to your brain. It's not a felony, first of all, to lie to Peter Strzok, of all people. Peter Strzok is at the heart of all of this, and that's one of the real. When you talk about the IG report coming out, Strzok is going to be right there. The IG report will be used, hopefully, by Barr and Durham to eventually indict people. Eventually. There's a New York Times article. Does anyone really want Joe Biden to be president? Now, if that is not an overt diss, if that is not them in a passive-aggressive way saying, we're just laying the groundwork for Hillary, I don't know what is. Madam Secretary, just do it already. My God, just announce so we can move on. And I could say that I was the only person saying that you would run. And every liberal / progressive / leftist who thought they were on this moral pedestal will now be swept off their feet by Madam Cyberhack. Why aren't I 50 points ahead? The only if there's no way that Biden is the main horse in all of this. If you look at 270 to win, just go to 270 to win. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do it right now. If you can go on your free time, 270 to win. If you look at the 2016 map, you look at the 2016 actual, if you remove Florida, she's only 16 votes away. All right? If you remove Florida, if she wins Florida, she's only 16 votes away. All she had to do was win Pennsylvania and Florida, Ohio and Florida, Indiana and Florida, Michigan and Florida, or even Wisconsin and Florida. She was supposed to win Wisconsin. She was up in Florida. She was supposed to win Wisconsin. It would have been Madam Secretary and the servers and the Clinton Foundation, and Lord knows how many Americans she would have sent off to never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts that the New York Times is trying to foment and fabricate as if Trump is even thinking of that, because he's not. And if Bolton is, whatever, Bolton has no power. Run to Iowa, girl. She won't run. Biden is a disaster. Biden is a disaster. This is Biden. I just want to tell you that. What is that? Eucalyptus on your hair? What is that? The Botox. She lives for Jesus the same. Hello. Thank you, Rhonda, Iowa girl. How many Botox injections does he need? How many Botox? Wait, I did this before. How does Botox work? Okay. How many injections do you need? I believe it's once every 2 weeks. Hold on. How many Botox injections? How often? Okay. How often Botox? Mm. Oh wow, 3 to 4 months. I'm always surprised by this. This is my same reaction last time. Okay, so it's not Botox Biden. So let's see. Botox Biden. Yeah, hold on. Botox hair plugs and veneers. Hmm. With he's had Botox. Okay. Ron Iowa girl. Thank you. The Yahtzee. Ronda Iowa girl, I do think she's running, but you're amazing and you're awesome and you're right about a lot. So for a split second, I'm like, oh my god. But no, I believe she's running. But I want everyone to be here, Rhonda. The day she runs will be very awesome. Rhonda Iowa girl, thank you. But Biden is complete disaster. The Yahtzee. Here's my observation. Trump brought Flynn back in the news via Twitter, and MSM went making this tells me that they are diverting from some news that might come soon. Could be, or it just could be Trump, poking the hornet's nest like he loves to do. Um, to camouflage the bad Barbie doll-esque plugs. Oh my god, this is funny. They're talking about Biden's plastic surgery. Hold on, Botox. John Kerry had too much, a little over injected with Botox. Looks Frankenstein. Gee whiz. Botox Biden the sniffer. The sniffer. I suspect he has regular Botox and probably filler. What does that mean? If he had a facelift, he needs another. Oh my god, he looks horrendous. I'm talking horrendous. Horrendous. It's really horrendous. All right, let's go ahead. So yeah, it all comes down to Florida, and no doubt that Florida is going to be another horrendous problem in 2020. But I think that Trump's going to win. I don't see them like staying with. I just don't see them staying with Biden. And Biden is so far ahead of the pack, and he's horrible. So what does that tell you? Clinton could literally just trounce in and be like, "I'm back. What are you gonna do? What you gonna do? You gonna do nothing?" Let's see. Democratic Party polls. Biden up by double digits and nobody wants him. That says to me that Sanders at 17, and that's only name recognition. This is the opposite of what took place 2016 when I said that he would win. He was on his way to winning in a fair primary. They cheated him. And then Warren is at 9. How is Warren at 9? That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Biden 35%. O'Rourke at 4. Oh, sorry. Boy, that campaign fizzled really quickly. Exactly. MMA fighter 38. Exactly. Flynn should have had a. They literally said, "Hey, you don't have to bring an attorney." And initially they said he didn't even lie. And in my Federalist article, I say he should be pardoned. He did nothing wrong. They set him up. They framed him. He did nothing wrong. He was never influenced by the Russians. President Obama said that the 80s want their foreign policy back. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be starting a site very soon. It's being built right now. Defeating Trump TDS. No, defeating TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. Defeating TDS. Run to Iowa, girl. Biden had 11 people in Iowa. Oh, my God. That's great. Biden. At this point right now, I'm actually giving like the Democrats advice. Clinton is their only hope, even though she's, obvious would be like, getting in bed with Freddy Krueger. But Joe Biden makes leadership hire for 2020 caucus campaign. This is Joe Biden rallying the campaign. We're going to win. We're going to take this country back. We're going to win. Papa D! The Dems should be hiding Biden. That's true. Jim, hello. HA, she's running again. Goodman. Good. Everything is all good. Just waiting for Madam Serpent to run again. Valerie Rogers, yes. Let's see. Let's see what else is going on. Ladies and gentlemen, I think lawmaker breaking with GOP. Oh my God, please don't. Now, which GOP imbecile? Justin Amash of, okay. Oh, okay. You're kidding me. Broke with his Republican on Saturday when he claimed the special counsel on Russian invasion showed president engaged in impeachable conduct. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, what a man of integrity, siding with the Democrats who fabricated everything and who were proven wrong after 2 years. Oh my God. Non-vitae Rex. Obama should have eaten more dirt. Non-vitae Rex. Thank you. Bruce Tomaszewski. It's exactly. The Yahtzee. MSNBC watching Biden's speech today. Donald Trump is very scared. Yeah. I just can't wait for the debates. Can you imagine Hillary Trump part 2? Oh my God, the Yahtzee. Thank you. Oh my God. This is Justin Amash, the genius. Here are my principal conclusions. Attorney General has deliberately misrepresented Mueller's report. No, he didn't, Einstein. The Mueller report was about declination decisions. He declined to prosecute. How can you misrepresent the report? There was no evidence there. Who cares if the Mueller team held more disdain for Trump than William Barr did? The fact of the matter is there was no evidence that he committed any criminal acts. No evidence of anything. If anything, the evidence points to a fabricated probe. 2, President Trump has engaged in impeachable conduct. No, he hasn't, but go ahead and impeach him. That would be like better for me and my voice and better for Trump. Partisanship has eroded our system of checks and balances. What are you talking about? This guy's hilarious. Yeah, partisanship, particularly Republicans who side with Democrats for media coverage. Few members of Congress have read the report. I've read the report. They don't mention Natalia Veselnitskaya. They don't mention, they don't mention Alexander Downer. Mueller did not interview Mifsud and did not interview Natalia Veselnitskaya. So you explain that. Exactly, Valerie Rogers. How do you prosecute a crime that never happened? My God. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be back a little later. God bless. To my super chat, thank you so very, very much. Everyone, thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I will be back. And have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday evening. Make sure to be here this evening. Thank you.